Hey guys, and welcome back to Dan's Pro Shop. Today we got a good one for you. Yeah, you're getting a little sneak peek here of an end result, but let me jump in front of that here for a minute. If you've seen the thumbnail and read through the title, you know why you're here. This is a heck of an upgrade, and we're going to get into it. And let me apologize right off the bat here. A lot of the audio in this video is crappy because I attempted to use a new microphone for some of this and a lot of it didn't work. I mean, yes, the content is still there. The audio may not just be the best for the whole thing. I think it's like the first half is pretty cruddy. So, right getting in front of that, I apologize. But the stuff is still the same. It's just not. It doesn't hear. Anyway, let's get into it. If you guys have been around for a minute and you've caught some of the stuff on the channel, you know I've kind of like started a little series on upgrading this Ultra Limited here. Previously, we installed these 10-inch meat hooks from Dominator Industries. And if you haven't seen that video, you really do need to check it out, because if you're even considering handlebars for your bike, I couldn't recommend any more. So please do check out that link down in the description for that video. But since you're already here, check out this one. Just keep that in mind for later. Today we are upgrading the saddle. That's right, where you spend the majority of your time on this thing. You go on a several 100-mile cruise, the old tuchus gets a little tired. So not only are we upgrading the seat, but we're just kind of gonna upgrade this thing in general. So I don't want to give it away too much. Let's just get into it, huh? Just in case you guys couldn't hear that, I don't know how the quality of the audio comes across on this thing, but yeah, that was another part of this here upgrade, was a full pipe system and a tuner and an intake. Either way, like I mentioned, I'll link down here. That's not the purpose of this one. Let's go over to the bench and see what's up. So guys, like I mentioned, today we're doing a solid upgrade from Dominator Industries. So not only are we upgrading the saddle like I led on to, but can you see? Yeah, it's not unwrapped yet, but I think you guys can get a solid idea of what this thing is. Let me unwrap everything, get it out here so you can appreciate this. Well, guys, here we are with the Dominator full kit here. Not only do we have their brand newly released seat, which is freaking phenomenal, by the way. Whenever you buy something new that's leather, and yeah, this is a quality item, Clark. Not only is it fancy, awesome, crosshatch stitch leather on top, and the saddle part where your butt goes is even so much bigger than the factory one. But even underneath, look how nice this thing is. All the hardware is powder coated black steel. All the leather is riveted to the seat pan, not stapled into just some piece of plastic crap. And there's even this nice carpeting under here. It's just, man, there's a reason that aftermarket is better more often than not. And to accompany this, we have this fantastic, gnarly looking Sissy bar. The pad shares the same color and stitching pattern as the seat. And not only does it share that, but check out this giant, Ace of Spades looking, death triangle that just so happens to perfectly match the meat hook handlebars that are on this bike. So I'm telling you, man, once you find a good aftermarket for stuff that you want, once you stick with them, this stuff just kind of goes seamlessly. Now, for some of the more observant viewers out there, you might be taking a look at this here motorcycle and be like, hey Dan, this thing's an Ultra. You know, you have a tour pack on there that's hard mounted. What gives with the Sissy bar here that just so happens to be a quick detach mount? Well, I'm glad you brought it up, because not only are we adding this awesome seat and Sissy bar from Dominator, we are also going to do a little upgrade to the motorcycle herself. We are going to do like an aftermarket turning an Ultra into a street glide kind of project here. Now, I'm not going to do all of that with you on this video here today. The focus of this video is the Dominator seat, and we will get there, and I promise you will see it when it's done. It is fantastic. But keep in mind, there's going to be more stuff going on. We're going to do this whole thing, but I'm going to do what only is necessary to make this work today. But yeah, let me bring you in and show you guys these things a little bit better, because seeing it from there doesn't do it justice. Guys, would you just take a look at this seat in all of its glory? I mean, look at this awesome stitching. As a matter of fact, I have a cool little video that Dominator sent me from when this seat was being built. And man, I just got to tell you, whenever you have a quality aftermarket item, it is super obvious. And as far as the underside, like I was talking about, take a look at this. So here is the mount that goes into that tang at the rear of the fuel tank. And take note to how the leather is confined to the seat pan. It's not crappy staples. It's nice aluminum rivets that hold everything together along with this fine carpet. And then this is the tang that will attach the rear of your seat to the fender back here. This is just in its shipped location. We're going to have to flip that. And there's some auxiliary hardware that's going to be needed for this. But either way, I mean, just take a look at this fine seat. As far as the Sissy bar goes, take a look at this thing. I mean, it is just as meaty, if not more, than the handlebars. We have really nice, solid aftermarket quick detach hardware that fits on the factory Harley stuff, even though that's not what we're using. But man, is this thing freaking clean. I mean, even look at these welds. That's a solid TIG weld job if I've ever seen one. And as far as the front goes, the pad is stitched and matches exactly to the seat. And Dominator actually offers different colored stitching for this. So you can have multiple color stitching and match your Sissy bar to your seat. Well, guys, that's about a solid overview of what's going on here today. I suppose the only other thing we got to get into is start yanking stuff apart. So I'll go over the stuff that you're going to need to do this. If you have a street glide, this is super straightforward. Like, you won't have to do 90% of what I'm about to get into. But like I mentioned, the majority of that is going to be on the other video for the specifics of doing this. But yeah, I guess step one, we'll take off the seat. You're going to have to do that either way. Well, if you're like me and you got one of these geezer glides with the backrest, unfortunately this thing is going to have to go by the wayside. This is a factory Harley thing that shouldn't be terrible to take off. There you go. It's just got this little squeezy together thing that goes in the bracket underneath. You'll see when we get there. But this guy has to come out if you have one. For a factory Harley seat, we're going to have to remove the screw that holds the seat on. And you guys notice there, I keep an extra long Phillips head screwdriver in the tour pack just in case I ever needed to get under the seat on this thing on the road. So, you know, take that for what you will, but I like to be over prepared with stuff. So in case you are rocking a Ultra, I'll bring in and show you exactly what I'm getting at here. You know, this is a tight, cramped space here. Not that big of a deal, and especially like I mentioned, if you're doing this to a street glide, it's even easier. But I'll show you what I mean. So when we come up to the bike here, underneath this little flap here on the back, there is a screw way down in there. You can see the reflection just a little bit. I promise you, there's a Phillips head screw down in there, and that's what we got to remove to pull the seat. So we'll just get under here. It's a number 2 Phillips, in case you're wondering. Not much to this, just take it out. But this is where that tang on the rear of the Dominator seat is going to index into. So we got the screw pulled out. Keep this in your pocket. You ain't going to want to lose it. I mean, if you're switching this, it is what it is. But either way, just keep a hold of this thing. Pull it up, hit it back, just like the seat on a dirt bike. There's your factory seat. Now I can kind of show you a little bit better what's going on back here. And if you open the lid on the tour pack, it gives you just that little bit more room. So here's what we're talking about. In case you guys have never seen under the seat on a touring bike, here it is. This is the ECM. The battery's buried underneath of it. This is the bracket for that backrest. You may not have that, but that's something that was added here. And this guy right here, that is the socket where the original factory seat screw goes. So that thing that we just took out to retain the seat is that guy right there. Next thing I got to do here is remove the tour pack. But since that is not part of this video, like I mentioned, it will be a different one, but same result, honestly. I'm going to take this guy off and install the necessary hardware for the quick detach. So I'm going to do that, do a little bit of movie magic, and meet you back here when we're ready for the Dominator install. Well guys, after some doing, here we are. So you saw what it looked like before. And what we have now. So we've essentially taken an Ultra and turned it into a Street Glide. The only thing you guys didn't see right here is putting the bags back on. So, man, I love editing. I know that probably wasn't seamless, but either way, didn't used to, now does. But here is the creme de la creme. We can finally put this fantastic Dominator seat on this thing. Now guys, as far as the attachment on the rear end of the seat here, I showed you before how this little tang underneath, you just take the screws out, flip it, stick it out this way. They just have it the other way for shipping. And you can use the factory screw to put this back together, or I strongly suggest getting one of these anodized aluminum thumb screws. It looks way better, it's easier to manage, and it's just strongly way much better. Don't worry, I'll add this in the description if you want one. Oh man, is that nice. I mean, guys, would you look at this freaking thing? Oh my, is that so nice. It fits perfect. It's like not too tight, it's not loose, it's super snug, it fits the contours of the fenders really well. And, oh, let's get in there. Oh man, I've wanted to do this for so long. Dude, this is not, like, the width of this saddle, like where you're in it from front to rear, is so much more comfortable than the stock one. And that, in combination with these 10-inch Dominator meat hooks, I mean, I don't need to tell you guys, if you have an Ultra and you want a Street Glide, like, this is a heck of a way to do it, boy. This is a gorgeous seat. And guys, for as awesome and insanely sexy as this thing looks now, we are not done. Will you look at that? I mean, guys, it is difficult to express this look over video. I mean, this freaking Sissy bar is just, man, it looks like a weapon. And it just, especially if you have these Dominator meat hook handlebars, it's the same thing. I believe the handlebars are 1.25 inches, and this looks to be 1.5 inches diameter. And it is just, oh man, does this thing look fantastic. I cannot tell you how happy I am with this. Let's just take a little tour around this thing, huh? So yeah, guys, all in all, I mean, dude, do I gotta tell you how freaking sweet this is? I mean, like I mentioned at the beginning, if you already have a Street Glide, this is seamless. I mean, you put the seat on in place of your original one, and the Sissy bar here. This does require the quick detach kit. So, I mean, whether you're going from an Ultra to a kind of Street Glide like we did here, and you get the quick detach kit, whatever, or, you know, you're just going to need to get that quick detach kit for your Street Glide if you want to use this Sissy bar. But I don't need to tell you how insanely well that complements this entire thing. Not only does the pad and the stitching on the Sissy bar match the seat perfectly, but the Sissy bar matches the handlebars. And it's just, I tell you guys, I've had this bike for a long time. Like, it's a 2014, I bought it in 15, and it has been an Ultra since then. So, like, having this configuration is such a big deal for me. Like I mentioned, I know it's not a Street Glide, like it's not low like a Street Glide. There's some changes here and there. But, dude, this seat and Sissy bar combo from Dominator, plus the handlebars, it makes this bike everything that I ever wanted it to be. So now I have the awesomeness and touring capability of an Ultra, which is the reason that I bought it. But now, like, whenever you're just hopping around, you know, going cruising with your buddies, you can have an awesome looking Street Glide like you wanted. And, whew, dude, I gotta tell you, if you guys are interested, really, check out the links down in the description to get over to Dominator and get this seat and Sissy bar set up for yourself, as well as a set of Dominator meat hooks. I did a video on those also. I will link that in the description. Like, this is a freaking good video. I mean, that was a heck of an upgrade. I am super glad that I did that. And like I mentioned, you guys saw what this thing looked like at the beginning and what it looks like now. This is a heck of a conversion. So make sure you stay tuned down the line for that video, because I'm going to do this whole thing in that video. So you can kind of get a little bit of peek on that one. But you know what? I'm so super happy about this, guys. I don't need to tell you. I mean, seriously, check Dominator out. You won't be upset.